Hello everybody. So this video is entitled NVIDIA Saves the Market. We are now breathing. NVIDIA, of course, outstanding performance, up 5% in after hours, and it is dragging all of the AI stocks to the upside with it, and in a major way that is. And so what are the AI stocks that we're interested in this channel? It's Nebius. Nebius is up a lot, 7% back above 100, up 7% in after hours after multiple days back to back at plus 5%. But we also have other stocks that I haven't covered as much on this channel, like IREN 10%, CoreWeave, close to 10%. You're looking at CIFR plus 15%. You're looking at CleanSpark plus 5%. You're looking at Riot plus 4%. Imagine CleanSpark is one of these stocks that got sold off so much. Mara also up big. Any like AI associated stock, any stock that was sold off because the market believed AI was not real is now bouncing back. Oh yeah, I remember. This is SMCI right there. SMCI up 5% after hours. Liquid cooling being essential, of course, to the new Blackwell series and to AI and the AI rollout. It's benefiting risk on asset as a whole, I would argue. I would argue that tomorrow will be, if this bounce continues, I think tomorrow will be a positive day for quote-unquote risk-on or short-term seen risk-on assets by the market. That means strategies back up, Bitcoin itself's back up, Bitcoin breaking back above 90,000 from the mid-88 to 90,000. All it took was the earnings to be released for that to happen. Even stocks that have nothing to, well, on the surface, right, nothing to do with AI, like hims and hers, up 1.5%. And of course, the NASDAQ is up. So the market is very optimistic about this. And so what I will say is, can we count on the top line revenue growth? Can we count on that to really save us, to really help us, right? Because unfortunately, it looks like we're not going to get help with the denominator. The money supply is going to keep being tight. Now everybody's saying we have no cut in December. That would be a catastrophe for the real world, right? For the economy, for real estate, for banks. It would continue to be a mess. To me, if we don't have a rate cut, the job market, for example, it's going to be very bad if we don't have a rate cut. We need a 100 basis point rate cut like last year. But anyways, we have a Fed that's very political. They don't want to cut, so we have to wait until Trump names Mr. Dove at the Fed. So stocks are not going to bounce thanks to the Fed, but they could bounce thanks to NVIDIA, because the positivity that NVIDIA gave us today in the earnings announcement was just outstanding. Revenue growth was 62% year over year, and it's higher than analysts, right? It's 57 billion revenue this quarter. Imagine in one quarter, 57 billion. Analysts were expecting 55 billion, so that's a nice 3%-ish beat. Same for earnings, about a 3% beat too, $1.30 a share versus 1.26. As you know on this channel, I don't really care too much about earnings. I care about cash flow. This company is a cash flow machine. If you look at Blackwell sales, CEO mentions NVIDIA, Jensen Huang mentions the Blackwell sales, so the GB300s are off the charts, and cloud GPUs are sold out. So they've sold out the product. Okay, and they're also raising the guidance. The guidance for next quarter, for Q4, is 65 billion. Analysts were expecting 62 billion. So they're raising the guidance. And if you just take that guidance and you annualize it, so you can see from quarter over quarter, so from Q3, so they did 57 billion in Q3, right? And they are guiding 65 billion in Q4. So they're guiding in the next three months, right? When they report in February of next year, they're guiding they'll do 65 billion. So that's 11.5% forward quarter over quarter revenue growth, 11.5%. Think about that. Many companies don't do that in a year. They do that in a quarter. If you annualize that number, that's plus 55% annualized top line revenue growth for a company that is this size, for a company that, is right now, run rate more than $200 billion in sales per year run rate. For a company of this size with a 75% gross margin, they're still growing at 55% annualized top line with actually no sign of slowing down. Actually, actually. As an analyst points out, this is all without China. All guidance assumes no China. NVIDIA sales have been throttled in China. They can't sell as much as they would like in China. In China, of course, I mean, it's an enormous market. I don't want to say it's half of the world AI market, but pretty close to it. You know, there's two people in the game. It's China and the US, and they're not selling anything to China, which is crazy that they can do these numbers without China. Imagine if a trade deal included more products of NVIDIA allowed to be shipped to China. NVIDIA remains, and I've updated this spreadsheet at least for the revenue number, NVIDIA remains the cheapest Max 7 of them all. Analysts are predicting 69% revenue growth, so more than the annualized number that I have right here, 69%. Enterprise value over gross profit, over revenue growth. How much am I paying for that growth? I'm paying a 0.46. NVIDIA is cheaper than Meta, and Meta dropped quite a bit over the past few weeks. And NVIDIA is cheaper than that. It is the cheapest Max 7, and I think that 69 number by analysts, and keep in mind NVIDIA, pretty much every analyst follows NVIDIA, so that number, you know, on the face of it is more accurate than a number from analysts from smaller companies, but that number, I think, is also off. The number could be much closer to above 100%, maybe 130, 150%, as I've said before. Why? Because Jensen at GTC Washington about 10 days ago, what did he say? He said, we expect 500 billion in sales over the next 5 quarters. So you remove Q3, that's 57 billion. So you have 443 billion in sales that he expects for Q1, Q2, for Q4, Q1, Q2, Q3. So the next 4 quarters, right? So the next 5 quarters, I was saying 500 billion. Now it's 4 quarters. So that doesn't make any sense. The growth rate should be higher than that. If that sentence that he quoted at GTC is actually in the books. And my guess is that the analyst numbers are going to be updated to the upside. AI is real. The demand is real. It is happening. And I don't know why the market had a freak out. My theory is the market had a freak out because they see 4.5 trillion written on their little Bloomberg, you know, their terminals. They see 4.5 trillion, and they think it's nonsense. They don't think it's possible. I saw one of the wiser analysts on NVIDIA earlier today predicting the company would be about 20 trillion in 2030. That sounds more right. That sounds more right to me. We will see $10 trillion companies in the coming 3 to 5 years. And NVIDIA, in my view, will be part of the mix. And a lot of Max 7s will be part of the mix, but especially NVIDIA. So this is just outstanding. If you look at the ratios, at the price ratios, these companies are not that expensive when you consider the quality of the flows, the quality of the institutions owning them, the predictability of them. They are not that expensive. Walmart is more expensive. Costco is more expensive. So anyways, outstanding quarter. I'm very happy. I hope this is what we needed to bring back some optimism in the market. I'm not looking for a big major bull market bounce, but at least let's go back to some level of sensical analysis of stocks now that the earnings season is behind us. Like, at least let's go back to some sense making in the market, and you know, the stocks that have been way oversold, let's get back to roughly normal levels. I'm not looking for all-time highs. I just want like a normal market to come back. We're in extreme fear on everything. Extreme fear for stocks, extreme fear for crypto. And of course, much of these fears, in my view, are undue because AI is real. AI is a revolution much closer to, say, electricity or the internet, right? It's a revolution. Anyways, this was not investment advice. This was not financial advice. This is just entertainment. I'm hoping you were entertained. Please please subscribe. Follow me on Patreon. Follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.